You started the part of the webinar dedicated to event management tools, IEC programs, and above all their use in practice. The LAN ring switches of the F-series are primarily designed for the creation of a transmission infrastructure due to their software. However, unlike ordinary switches, they also have alarm inputs, programmable relays, and other virtual inputs and outputs. With them you can create a whole range of automatic actions. By automatic action we basically mean a simple reaction of the output to the input. The scenario can be, for example, that motion detection on a PER sensor connected to a switch can, for example, cause a camera to rotate or a relay to switch. An increase in the measured temperature causes an SNMP trap to be sent. A camera not responding to ARP queries is automatically restarted with the help of an IP watchdog, and so on. On the left is an overview of the most important inputs, and on the right the outputs that are available for creating automatic actions. You can work with LAN ring inputs and outputs directly via SNMP or Modbus protocols. On the slide, there is one practical example in which the customer extended the security of objects by drone protection and used all the inputs and outputs available on the switches. It used a secure SNMP version 3 protocol to read and control them. If automatic actions are insufficient, we recommend adding an iPlog control unit to the system. It is no longer limited to simple automatic actions, but works like a standard PLC with hundreds of functions. These can be divided into two basic groups. For functions defined by the IEC 61131-3 standard and therefore also available in other PLCs, and on customer functions that have been created based on cooperation with our customers. Examples include the OnVIF and IP watchdog function blocks that are part of the program on the slide. iPlog PLCs support writing control programs in 4 IEC languages, plus you can combine them with Bash scripts. The LD and FBD languages are graphical, with the fact that the function block language in particular is intuitive enough that even a layman can understand it. The creation of programs is particularly facilitated by the Metel libraries created in cooperation with our customers. They implement general protocols DAL, BACnet, SNMP, Modbus, OnVIF, sending or receiving messages in the form of SMS or emails. They enable easy integration with technologies from other manufacturers such as Pelco, Mobitix, Gutebruk, vAlert, Keyence. In the case of blocks in the data logger library, you can store measured values in the database. However, if you do not want to deal with programming at all, we offer the creation of a tailor-made program as a paid service according to your specification. This is already an example from an application where the tools available in LAN ring and PLC iPlog switches are combined. Moreover, this is an example of our integration with Pelco's IP CCTV technologies. iPlogs receive events from the Pelco event monitor and forward them to the alarm system. iPlogs providing operational information from LAN ring switches. For example, tamper statuses, power, 802.1x authentication errors, and so on are passed directly to VMS VideoSpert via the Pelco ASCII plugin. The system operator can then control our relay outputs through the Pelco dispatch plugin. We also have an integration somewhat similar to VMS VideoSpert with Bosch IP CCTV systems. It reports on the status of IP CCTV elements via SNMP traps sent from the MVR. Therefore, in 2023 we added new function blocks to the libraries to receive them. PLC iPlog can again be used for integration with other systems such as mobile devices, monitoring software, alarm systems of other manufacturers. You can also connect barcode and QR code readers to our devices. We can connect Keyence industrial readers or common readers with a USB interface to iPlog. The output is typically code stored as metadata in IP camera records, logs in a file, database, etc. iPlogs can also help with integration into SCADA's software in power, industry, and similar applications. IP cameras transmit the required status information in the form of TCP events. These are the standard equipment of most modern IP cameras. These states are received by the PLC iPlog, written into the internal Modbus registers, and read from them by SCADA via Modbus TCP. The ideal way to increase the security level of the IP system is to deploy authentication using the IEEE 802.1x protocol. A key role in the entire system is played by the so-called radius server, where device and user login data is stored. Each device or user is authorized upon first login and thereafter at regular intervals. In large-scale systems where individual objects are connected by remote cable routes, it is therefore necessary to have a separate backup radius server in each remote object in case of loss of communication with the main radius server. iPlog can serve well as a backup radius server. Unlike standard servers, it does not need an air-conditioned space for its operation. In cooperation with our Slovak partner supplying add-ons software SBI, we added a tool for receiving multicast audio streams from the 2N system to PLC iPlog. IF modules with line audio output and our Class D amplifiers were used as outputs. iPlog is very often used in off-grid applications with unstable power supply. To prevent the battery from being completely discharged, the iPlog automatically switches to sleep mode when the voltage drops below 10 volts. In the case of remote access, we recommend using a VPN client. PLC iPlog fulfills multiple roles in the system, provides secure remote access to the system, enables the visualization of operational states, including their logging into the local database and, in addition, remote access to the configuration of end devices. Thanks to the described features, we managed to introduce PLC iPlog to hundreds of locations. For example, they fulfill the role of routers for remote locations of the gas company. See the image on the left. In the middle is an iPlog in an assembly with our switchboard and a Mobitix IP camera rented to construction companies to monitor construction sites and detect the wearing of protective equipment. On the right is an image from a similar construction site monitoring system in Portugal. iPlogs have also found application in access control and traffic control systems. In this application, the IP camera reads the license plate and sends the data to the iPlog unit. The camera is in TCP server mode and iPlog is in TCP client mode. iPlog adjusts the data it receives in its program, removes unnecessary characters, and hashes the result using the SHA-1 algorithm. It takes the last 6 characters from the hash and sends these characters to the Weekend interface. The hardware of control units and I/O modules of the DIN series has become the basis of the access control system for objects with a high degree of risk. I say hardware on purpose because the firmware was developed directly by the customer. System security is, among other things, guaranteed by encrypted communication on RS-485 buses. The app also uses secure boot technology to sign and encrypt the firmware. Manufacturing plants with more than 30,000 employees have expanded the access system consisting of only weekend readers at the turnstiles to include facial scanners. iPlogs compare codes received from weekend readers with codes assigned to faces in the s.r.o software. The customer thus eliminates unauthorized access. This most often happened when external agency employees borrowed cards from each other, which the weekend reader was not able to detect. This is what the event database looks like directly in the s.r.o software client. In addition, iPlog can directly block the turnstile when an unknown person or a bad card is detected. iPlog can also control the entrance to the building, in this case to the hospital. It receives the instruction to open from the access system, the induction loop detecting the car, the camera reading the car tags, or from the button. After the passage is allowed, the iPlog opens the gate, turns on the red light at the pedestrian crossing and activates the wait LED sign for cars to wait until the barrier is raised. When the barrier is raised, the wait light goes out and the green for cars lights up. Approaching the departing car to the induction loop behind the barrier immediately turns on the red light for cars in front of the gate. If another car is detected in front of the gate, the PLC waits for the departure of the previous car. If no other car is detected, a red light for cars and a green light for pedestrians will turn on after 30 seconds. During the night, the gate closes automatically after the car passes and is permanently open during the day. And this is a similar system of controlling passage through the gatehouse from 5 different directions. Each direction is controlled by a traffic light. iPlog ensures that only one truck can pass through the gate and that no more than one truck meets in one place. The deployment of PLC iPlog in perimeter systems was responsible for their birth. They were actually the first applications of the previous Delta generation. Absolute Pro is a modern IP perimeter system manufactured in Italy by Securit. iPlog PLCs are used in it as alarm evaluation units. Depending on the model, we can also power the barriers from the PO of our switches and post litters. Already around 2015, we delivered the first iPlog Delta control units for the integration of the V-Alert perimeter system with Pelco analog cameras. In the event of an alarm, iPlog sends commands to turn the cameras towards the disturbed part of the perimeter. It was originally an analog system. The solution has proven itself despite the challenging conditions of outdoor oil extraction sites. Therefore, at the end of 2020, we received a request from the same customer to integrate the V-Alert perimeter system with Pelco IP cameras. This was already a task for iPlog Gamma, which, in addition to controlling analog cameras with the Pelco P and D protocols, can also control IP cameras with the OnVIF protocol. In addition, the alarms are copied to the relay outputs. We are also looking forward to successful implementations in the growing segment of electromobility and renewable energy sources. If you own an e-bike, you may also occasionally use publicly available chargers. iPlog found application in them as well. The entire charging process works in such a way that the client scans the QR code located on the charger, after which the web page of the payment gateway opens to him, where he pays the required amount and iPlog then activates the corresponding outlet. We supply iPlogs in 2 different types of chargers. The smaller one is a single drawer solution supplied under the Boxenergy brand. The larger 4-drawer solution from Cytel also allows payments with coins. Customers are increasingly using iPlug as a control system for photovoltaic power plants installed in factories and private homes. The main purpose of using iPlug is to maximize the use of the obtained energy, eliminate power peaks, collect operational data in the database, and ensure secure remote access. The economically very interesting role of iPlug is to maintain the facility's consumption within the permitted range between the quarter-hour maximum and minimum, which prevents contractual fines from the energy supplier. iPlug continuously communicates with the electricity meter and, in the event of a risk of non-compliance with consumption within the specified range, it can initiate the recovery of the missing energy from the backup battery or, conversely, turn on suitable loads when the consumption needs to be increased. We are currently working on a major upgrade that, using AI algorithms running in the cloud, will make the system run more efficiently by factoring in weather forecasts and spot energy prices. The upper graph shows the daily costs of operating an optimized and non-optimized system. The price of the battery, and especially the number of charging cycles it can withstand, has a significant influence on the efficiency of photovoltaics. The optimization ensures, for example, that the battery is charged directly from the photovoltaic panels, case from the network, but only when the spot price is low. The graph on the right below shows the first results. We do not only think about business, but also about student support. We support the students of the NACAD Elite Gymnasium in their interest activities. We were also the official partner of the 5th and 6th year of the Student National Competition focused on cybersecurity. We also support university students in their bachelor's and master's theses. Below left is, for example, the result of a CTU student's bachelor's thesis with the help of our iPlug PLCs. On the right of the picture is the result of cooperation with the university. Rocklaw, whose students, with the help of our media converters, communicate with a submarine controlled by a fiber optic cable. They have the deepest dive of more than 100 meters. That's all for the content of this webinar. Finally, I would like to mention some information about the test procedure and the subsequent issuance of certificates. Tests are only mandatory for people registering projects on our website and in the case of applying for an extended warranty of 5 years from the end of production. In both cases, you must have a valid certificate and activated VIP access on our website. The VIP account is activated automatically after passing the test. We consider a test with at least 2/3 of the answers correct to be a successful composite test. You have 2 attempts to pass the test each day. The validity of the certificate and VIP access to the website is 6 months. During this time, you can extend your VIP status at any time by taking another test. Another way to get VIP access is to participate in face-to-face training. In this case, your VIP access is activated for 1 year. Finally, thank you for your attention, and I look forward to hearing from you on the next webinar.